What's going on, friend? I hope you're having a phenomenal today. Uh, phenomenal today. Uh, to, Today is casual Friday for me. How about casual Friday for you? But listen, I just got a couple minutes. Wanted to hop on here real quick. I want to share something I've shared with the group earlier. Want to just hop on this on YouTube channel, podcast show, and share this with you. By the way, welcome to the Motivate Podcast Show. And the Motivate Podcast Show, we always say less, but we definitely want to believe for more. Listen, if you found value and content in this video, then do us a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. That way, every time we post videos, you get the content. So, let me ask you a question. Does it ever feel like your life is on? You're trying to move forward. Listen, if you and there seems to always be this some type of a favor challenge, some type of struggle as it relates to where you're going, what you're trying to accomplish. It's quite possible that you have your parking brakes on. Friend, you can have the right vision, you can have the right tools, you can have even the right team. But if your mindset, your methods, or your mistakes are holding you back, it's like pressing the gas while the parking brake is on. And so, what I want to do today, friend, is I just want to take a couple of minutes to share with you how do you navigate that? How do you move forward? You're pressing the gas to move forward, but it just feels like your parking brake is on. And listen, you're here today, you're watching the video. That means it's purpose that you need to see and hear and get this information that I want to share with you. So listen, so you're trying to move forward and it feels like your parking brake is on, right? So my background is, I remember yeah, I've been married 30, I'll be celebrating 38 years of marriage in September of this year. Yay, put your hands together, clap for Mrs. Williams. I know I don't look like I've been married 38 years. It's the water that I drink, right? I'm just having fun. So listen, here's my story. My story is I was born into, a family where my father worked in manufacturing, his father worked in manufacturing. So I'm coming on the table. I'm coming on the scene, and the expectation on the table was that I was going to work manufacturing as well. And so I started down that path, right? And so I worked general labor jobs, different places. Um, then when I graduated from high school, I started down the path of uh, the general labor manufacturing environment. And I'll never forget, I get to a place where I'm accepted into this company, into an apprenticeship program. And back then, the apprenticeship program was 4 years or a total of 8,000 hours. And then I had to take classes on trig, I had to take physics, I had to take beginners, intermediate, and advanced blueprint reading. I was in an apprenticeship to become a numerical control operator, a CNC operator. That's a machinist, a highly skilled machinist. And I was in my early 20s. And so I'm excited. I mean, this is a big move for me. My father was manufacturing, his father was in manufacturing. Now I'm becoming highly skilled in the manufacturing environment. And so 2 years into this apprenticeship, my supervisor calls me into the office, and I'm expecting my supervisor to say, "Rich, I don't know where we've been. You're the most. We don't know where we've been, where we would have been without you. You are the most exciting, energetic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." That's what I was expecting to hear from my supervisor. But what he said to me, these words really shook me to the core. He said, "Rich, you seem to be the most incompetent person that I ever met in my life." Oh, talking about raining on my parade. And I went home and man, I sat on a basement step and I got to tell you this. I know they said a grown man don't cry, but yes, he do. Yes, he does. And I cried, man, for about an hour and a half. I cried so much until the tear duct in my eyes ran dry. And I came to a resolve. I made a decision. I said, never again will anyone say that Richard Williams is incompetent. And I began to embrace the mindset that information makes the difference between success and failure. But that was that I thought I moved beyond that moment. And then for different situations, I then left that company, went to another company. and I'm building a tax. I was building at the current company. I was helping to build um, nuclear powered submarines, et cetera. I had Department of Defense clearance, Department of Energy clearance. That job ended. I went to another job, worked there for about 90 days, and this time I'm building attack vehicles, tanks, armored vehicles, et cetera. That job ended, and it just seemed to be a downward spiral from there. What I didn't realize, friend, is that those words of incompetent was the parking brake that was on my soul. It was slowing me down. Even though I thought I had my foot on the gas pedal, it was slowing me down. So you have to identify. The first thing is you got to identify what are these mental brakes? What are the mental breaks that's slowing me down? What are the mental breaks that's keeping me from having a successful marriage? What are some of the mental breaks that's keeping me from having a successful business, having a successful relationship with people? Man, I tell guys when we meet, we chat. He said, "I've been in this relationship and it ended. It didn't end well, and I've been in this relationship and it did ended. It didn't end well, and I've been in this relationship and it didn't end well." And he said, "Man, these women out here, man, these chicks, these women is crazy." And I'm like, bro, what's the common denominator in all those women? Let me help you out. It's you. May not be them. You, bro. Michael Jackson said, I looking at the man in the mirror. And so we have to identify these mental breaks for failure. Is it a fear of success? Do we have an imposter syndrome? What's an imposter syndrome? I'm pretending to be someone or something that I'm not. People sniff out fakes. Be authentically you, unapologetically you is what I say. And so then you got to move through this illusion movement, right? Busyness versus productivity. Doing a lot doesn't mean that you're moving forward because you still have the mental break on. You know, the difference between motion and momentum is motion simply means movement. Momentum is continuation with very little effort. If we were to fly up 30,000 feet, maybe go up a few miles into space, and you were to throw a rock, there because of the weightlessness of space, the rock will continue traveling forward with very little momentum or effort or energy from us. And that's what we want to create in our lives. So, bro, you're going to have to check it out. Right. And then the third piece on how do we now release these breaks? You got to use practical strategies, realignments, and systems. Maybe get some coaching in or therapy. I have a therapist. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I have a therapist. I have a person that I see, a person that I want to flush out some of the thoughts. What are some of the thoughts? Why do I think this way? Why do I feel this way? And I want to have another person who is an expert help me navigate these thoughts and these sea, and sometimes what seems like a sea of emotions. Men do have emotion. If he's feeling nothing, that's an emotion. Sometimes we take the off ramp when it comes to difficult or challenging situation in our relationships and or on our job. But you got to be able to understand what do I need to do to release this parking brake that's a mental block in my mind. You know, there are biblical principles that we can begin to activate in our lives. You know, the Bible says in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, that write the vision down and make it plain. So part of the process of releasing the break is that we got to write our vision down. What do you want? When do you want it? Most importantly, why do you want it? And then we understand that we got to then act on the vision if we believe it. We got to act on the vision if we believe it. See, it's the ABC of getting the vision manifested. What is it? It's the ABC of getting the vision manifested. What are the ABCs, Rich? I'm glad you asked. It's I got to acknowledge, I got to believe it, and I got to consistently act on it. It's the ABC. I got to have action, belief, and then my words got to line up with it. I got to have action on a belief, and then my words, confession, and my words got to consistently line up with it. I cannot say one thing and expect it to happen if I'm acting another way. If I believe that I am rich, and I do, if I believe that money comes easily and frequently to me, and I do, therefore, it's going to require me to act a different way. Friend, I hope this is making sense. So finally, in our last couple minutes together is, what breaks do you need to release, friend, as it relates to the success that you want to have this week? I'm inviting you to join my private Facebook group, and in the private Facebook group, we go through some of these mental barriers, and we post information and we have live discussions. And if you found value in this, or maybe you're saying, "Hey, man, that's me. I would love to know more. I would love to get more information." I got an ebook for you. It's a free ebook we want to give away to this community. All you got to do in the comment section, just say emotion, and you comment emotion in the comment section. I'll make sure that we get the ebook out to you on our behaviors and the way that we think. And hopefully, Fran, that will be a game changer for you. You'll find the information helpful. Don't forget to hit that notification button and subscribe so that when we post video, we post content, we make sure that that you're getting that information. So, Fran, I appreciate your time, your attention on the Motivate Podcast Show. We always say less, but we definitely